Boruto Chapter 26 spoilers are out, and they brought something totally unexpected. Just one single panel that might actually make you scratch your head. And yeah, it is what it is. A scene where Inojin shows up at Himawari's house and gives her something. And that something is honey. Yep, once again, it's literally just honey. That's all we got for Chapter 26 leaks. But guys, while a lot of people might think this spoiler is super lame, like, seriously? Just Inojin giving honey to Himawari? I'm telling you, this moment isn't as simple as it looks. Behind this tiny scene, there could be a lot more going on. Symbolism, possible foreshadowing for the next arc, or even some character relationship building. So let's break it down. Why is this scene actually so interesting? First off, why honey? Is it something Himawari personally likes, or could there be some hidden symbolism behind it? Regardless of any romantic interpretations, believe it or not, honey symbolizes healing, energy, and warmth in many cultures, especially since Himawari saved Inojin's life. And normally as a form of gratitude or something like that, maybe this isn't just a romantic gesture, but rather how Inojin shows his gratitude for what Himawari did to save his life. Then, the thing that might seem simple is honey. And after I looked for some clues about the meaning of honey, honey can be categorized as a form of physical recovery or something like that. I know you might think this is excessive, but let me explain until the end. And as we know, Himawari is in the process of discovering her own powers. Some theories even connect Hima with the 10 tails, or even Kaguya. Is that right? But that's not entirely wrong. So that means honey could be a symbol that she will soon face something that requires extra energy. Or in other words, it could also be foreshadowing that Himawari will have an important role in the upcoming battle. And small support like this will have a big impact. Above all, we cannot deny the fact that since the beginning of the time skip, Himawari has often been portrayed as Boruto's younger sister, who believes that her parents are still alive and wants to become a strong shinobi. And of course, as time goes on, we see her progress into a character with extraordinary potential. However, if we go back to this leak, could this small scene be Ikemoto's strategy to highlight Himawari before she gets her big moment? And of course, in my opinion, some small details don't come from coincidence. Rather, they become clues that we cannot simply ignore. Although I admit that some people think this isn't important, remember that in the Naruto series, characters who were often given small moments like Shikamaru or Hinata eventually had big arcs that became memorable for fans. And the big question is Ikemoto preparing Himawari to be one of the characters who will have a significant impact on Boruto itself? I think the answer is clear, and you all know it. And speaking of Inojin, there are rumors circulating on the internet that Inojin will be Himawari's love interest, like Boruto and Sarada, or Boruto and Sumire. For some reason, this seems unbalanced. It's not that Inojin isn't worthy or anything like that, it's just the way it is. And as we know, Himawari is the descendant of a legendary shinobi with extraordinary powers. She has the Byakugan, and, of course, Kurama's chakra, which creates a considerable gap between Himawari and Inojin. Although this might sound a bit discriminatory, this could still be debunked if Ikemoto really decides to ship Himawari and Inojin. Besides that, the biggest obstacle is the age gap. Hima is only 12 years old. Honestly, even though this is just a manga, it sounds pretty weird. Yeah, you know what I mean, right? So in conclusion, the relationship between Inojin and Hima is not actually a romantic one. Rather, it is a friendship and a sense of gratitude for saving his life. But aside from some of the romantic elements that the fandom suspects, I actually found a clue that Inojin will have a pretty important spotlight in the future. I mean, look at how the era after the time skip began, starting from his role in saving Himawari when she fell after being hit by Tsumeka's tail, carrying Himawari away from Jura's attack using Chojo Giga, to several crucial moments that ended in such a tragic death at the hands of Jura. And as we all know, the Ino Shikacho generation has always been placed as the support team. But with Inojin showing his concern for Himawari, and of course with some conflicts putting Himawari as part of Team 10 alongside Inojin, it seems undeniable that the chemistry Ikemoto is building might lead to a more crucial character development. Yeah, you guys know what I mean, right? And believe it or not, Inojin is actually similar to his father's personality. As a somewhat cold, realistic, and sometimes unexpressive child since the time skip era, he has actively shown something different with changes in his personality, especially towards Himawari, which indicates that he has a caring side that is rarely shown, right? However, looking at various moments between Himawari and Inojin, For some reason, I see Inojin becoming one of Himawari's guardians or support system, especially if Hima is going to play a big role in the upcoming arc. And it cannot be denied that Kurama's role within Hima's body will sooner or later have a big impact on the increasingly complicated conflict. However, one thing is certain, even though it sounds far-fetched, the scene between Inojin and Hima is also representative of what is known as the calm before the storm. Because if you observe in shonen stories, there are often slice-of-life moments or light interactions before a major arc begins. This honey scene could be a sign that things are calm before the big storm comes. So even though fans think this is just canon filler, this kind of pattern is often used to build the atmosphere before the conflict explodes, right? However, one thing is certain, even though I initially said that the moment between Himawari and Inojin wasn't romantic or anything like that, it can't be denied that the Boruto fandom loves to ship characters. Inojin and Himawari could be a new couple that is slowly being set up, just like how Kishimoto slowly gave hints about Naruto's Hinata through small interactions. Although this is not necessarily canon, moments like this are enough to get fans debating on forums. And if Kishimoto is deliberately preparing a new generation to have this kind of chemistry, then we will see many similar interactions in the future. So let's wait and see. If we flash back to the Naruto story, there were also many small moments that were initially considered unimportant, but ended up having a huge impact. Example, the moment Shikamaru slept in class, which eventually revealed his lazy yet super genius character. Hinata, who was often shy, eventually became one of the characters with a major role in the main story. So, don't be surprised if this moment between Inojin and Himawari turns out to be more than just a trivial thing, but a seed for major character development in the future. Yeah, even though I don't expect Inojin and Hima to become a couple, who knows, right? However, in conclusion, we can't underestimate this small scene. Inojin giving honey to Himawari may seem trivial, but if we look deeper, there are many possibilities. Starting from the symbolism of healing, the character development of Himawari and Inojin, to foreshadowing a major conflict to come. Ikemoto often slips in hints or clues through light scenes. So it could be that this honey scene is one of the pieces of the puzzle that will come together in the next arc. And once again, even though this sounds exaggerated, do you think this is just a slice of life moment? Or is Kishimoto actually preparing something big? Drop your opinion in the comments section because I'm really curious to read your theories. So yeah, thanks for watching, likes and subs. I'm Nim without the E. See you in the next video.